So we get into some really interesting conversations, and I don't want to keep you here for too long, but in case you didn't watch, there was a first part that went up yesterday that you have to click and you have to watch before you start this one. So make sure you watch that one, right? And now we can continue on to this clip. But I thought maybe we could touch on other things or moments that you've experienced where you thought, I'm gonna need you to backtrack real quick because this is, we're about to go to war.
Where do we begin?
Yeah, no, there's one that comes to mind so quickly.
Where do we begin?
It was a party in college, and because I was in Malaysia, there was a very big mix of people, but this was a party for someone from Botswana.
Okay.
Now we're in our early 20s, yeah, we're like 21.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget going in and finding all the women in the kitchen. We're in our early 20s, and then all the men outside. And then the women saying, oh, come and help serve. I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah. Rebel!
I asked one of my friends, I'm like, I don't understand. And I'm not saying this is how it is in Botswana, but it was a party full of Botswana. And I'm like, what's happening here? Why are the men outside and the women in the kitchen? I'm sorry, but I don't understand. And she's just like, that's just how it is. Like, I don't think so. And I remember being the one frowned upon throughout that party.
Yeah.
No one, they were just like stubborn, rebel, feminists.
Yeah.
But I remember that just being, wow, this is actually very alive in this day and age.
Yeah.
As young people. So that's probably the first memory that comes to mind.
But I bet today, if you go to a house party, that's exactly what you're going to see.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I saw my dad and my uncles in a kitchen like, where are the tomatoes? Where are the tomatoes? Like, I don't remember the last time. And the women will be
all college kids.
Yeah, so you'd expect then it's like
maybe that was me being naive. I really didn't expect it from a group of people who have all flown out for an education, who are mingling with other cultures, to still be so hell-bent on, you know, we're sitting at the balcony, you guys are in the kitchen.
And I think another issue that brings up is also just having it internalized in us that the more nurturing we are towards men, the more we'll be rewarded with a husband. So we have to show ourselves as, yes, I'm modern, and yes, I'm woke and educated, but I
can
make
also
a good
cook
wife,
and clean.
You know, so and you know,
yeah.
early 20s, the 20s, it's a very impressionable time in terms of you know, finding somebody who cares for you and loves you. So you find yourself doing things that choose me, pick me, you know, pick me.
Yeah, I'm the good one. But I like what you said about choice, because for some women, they're probably very okay with that.
Yeah,
it's okay if you're okay with that.
I was just about to say.
I love cooking.
Really, I think it's really important to, in this conversation, say that, you know, perhaps on this table we are of that opinion that our place is not in the kitchen, and that's just not our thing. But there's a woman, we have friends.
Purity said she loves to cook. It's just not.
Sophie loves being in the kitchen. She loves doing that sort of thing, and that's her choice. So long as she's not being forced into it.
Do you know? I think the reason I hate the kitchen was because I was made to feel like I need to be in there. And the reason, but my mom never. I don't remember seeing my mom slaving in a kitchen ever, and so I took that. Also, that side of I'm not even going to enter because I don't want to go into someone's house and I'm expected to go there. So for the longest time I didn't bother, and I was almost against it. You know, so if I ever met someone who said, hey, I could never marry a woman, I'd be like, great, we're not getting married anyway. I wasn't looking. So I'd be so against it. And it's only now that I've started to enjoy cooking, because I now know it doesn't matter whether you think I should be in it or not. If I want to be in the kitchen, I will be in the kitchen because I want to. But I've had to.
But I'm just like, how did something that we all need, it's a life skill, cooking, ironing, cleaning, how did those things become gender-based? The things that we all need to do.
If you look at it, the way it happens is if we just sample the hotels in Nairobi, majority of the chefs are men. And if you drive down to Nakuru, initially it used to be women who are out with the fruit selling, but now that has become a lucrative business. So you see more men selling the fruits, the yogurt, etc. So that, because that is just a role that is assigned to women in the society, that women cook, women take care of babies, etc. And it used to be women sell. That's why we have a mama mboga. It's not baba mboga, because women used to be the one at the market. But of course, if you go to any market now, you actually find maybe an equal number of men and women. And it's because when a particular thing starts to pay, somehow women are overtaken, because women have been doing this as, we need survival. Women went to be mama mbogas because probably she needed to put food on the table to take her kids to school. However, with time, it became, instead of this guy just sleeping at home, he's going to also start selling the mboga. And eventually, we start to say, wanaume pia wanauza, wacha ninunulie huyu akona shida zaidi. You know, you buy for the man and leave the woman, and the man's business of course is going to grow, because we are seeing this as a very abnormal thing for men to be doing. And eventually it's ended that anything that's paying, if you think about it, when you find men as chefs, now it becomes a profession. It's a chef, it's not a cook. Right?
Yeah.
I think it actually has to do with control, because if you talk about like if it's a lucrative business where there's money coming in, and you know, money is one of the measures of control. If you have more money, you have more control, and you have more power. That's why you'll find that the reason I feel that we have more men as executive chefs is because they're the ones in control. They're the ones who dish out the instructions. They're the bosses. You know, so having a woman in that position will also, it's a form of imbalance, I would say.
It's seen
but
as,
it's also
but
very, you know, the contributing factor why men end up becoming chefs, executive chefs and stuff, is a part of it is very basic, because many women, our careers are curtailed just because of our reproductive ability, right? So if I have a child today, I'll need, assuming I'm having morning sickness, etc. Of course, I'm not really practicing. I'm not putting in my 10,000 hours of becoming an excellent chef. In the meantime, the guy who we went to college with is putting in the time. And I take some time off to bring up my child. Even if I take the 3 months, these are 3 months I haven't been working. This guy has been putting in the time. So that if there's a promotion, this guy will get it fast. So the system is already set up
right.
to really promote.
I agree. I remember one time when I was heavily pregnant, walking into a lift with a very influential and successful businessman, and him noticing I'm pregnant and referring to me as damaged goods. Oh, now you're damaged goods. Yeah. Oh gosh, now you're damaged goods. Look at how big you are. I know. And then I was like, but I'm pregnant. What's your excuse?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, but even then, I don't think.
Clap back. I would have just been.
But even then, I don't think
Damaged goods.
damaged goods. Damaged goods.
Who asked you?
I mean, and you know, and at this point, I mean, there's no way in that moment I could have sat and been like, do you understand what you've said is so wrong and it's so hurtful that if you said it to the wrong person, they would completely then, you know, go to a corner and be like, I can't leave that. Maybe I should just stay in a corner. I'm actually fat. I'm now damaged goods. I could never do anything. But that was not the time to get into that. And anyway, I just feel like he's so in his way, stuck in his ways. You would need a lot more than just a conversation. But I think I also now want to quickly move into, because I think this is so great and we can talk about this for so long, but I just want to talk about, you know, whenever we bring up issues of gender equality, the girl child, look at what the women are suffering. So many girls are skipping school because they're on their period, and let's try and support that. FGM, there's always that one tweet, one comment that will ask, what about the boys? Don't forget the boy child, which is valid, but I just wanted to...
I feel very passionately about that, because I think in order to elevate, we are looking for equality after all, you know? And it's not to be confused with sameness. We're not saying that suddenly we want to be able to do things that biologically are impossible for us. Just going back to that word, choice, opportunity, it's really important. However, if you look at the kind of, even the men who we would normally date or go out with, how they were raised versus how we were raised is completely different. So you find that a guy who is my peer was raised with traditional values, become really successful, be the protector, be the provider, and make sure you have a submissive wife. How then is he meant to integrate that? Because it's cognitive dissonance. You're now working with career women, but you're looking for a submissive wife. You want your wife to be ambitious, but you also want her to nurse your child and to nurse your man food. And maybe this is a conversation for you. How do you raise men who know, yes,
and
we
purity,
have a place
she has a boy.
in our society as men, but there's also room to be this kind of man with these kind of women.
Wow. So
the boy child.
Boy child. Let me start with the boy child comment. Is I always ask them, what are you doing?
Right.
And 99% of the time they're silent. Not because I'm trying to say it's not an issue, but I'm like, why are you harping on about me not engaging the boy child, when as a man, I think you have every right to have a role to play.
Yeah.
I do agree that it's important that we're talking to boys as much as I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But I've also noticed in the work I've done on the ground, boys want to see men talk to them.
Yeah,
You've seen that, right? You'll go, like when we did the launch of the initiative in 2013, and we went to the First Lady, they were all like, where's the president? And many years after that, they'll listen to you, they look at you, you're talking to them and encouraging them, and one of them will just pull you aside and say, lakini wanaume wako wapi?
Yeah.
So I'm always like, you have a role to play.
Right.
And I fight with them on my timeline.
Yeah.
And some of them get it. I'm like, whether it's your community, your church, your school, something in the neighborhood, just go out there and talk to them. Don't overthink it. Don't think that you need to go there and sponsor a child to go to school. If you can, that's great.
Yeah.
Talk to them. Figure out where they're at. What are they struggling with?
Yeah.
Because that conversation just does something it validates them as boys.
Right.
And makes them feel like, oh wait, I'm important. Because right now a lot of them feel like they're taking over.
Yeah.
They're getting all the jobs.
And it's not even to say that just because we're focusing on the girl child
Yeah.
means that now we're going to overtake.
Exactly.
There's of course like a disconnect. We're not at the same place. There's so many opportunities that boys have had for centuries that girls are only now struggling to come and catch up on. So
the numbers, if you look, it's because we're making more noise.
Yeah.
We're still like, how many women occupying boards? 3% of the boards.
Yeah.
If you look at the numbers, we're still.
parliament.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're still very far behind. It's just that we make more noise through conversations like this.
Right.
That people think suddenly we're taking over the world.
Yeah.
Which
And
technically,
I feel like
Right.
But then to your question about how to raise, it's very interesting you asked that
How
question.
to invite the men
How to
into
invite the men,
fold
yeah.
early on.
Exactly. It's funny because by choice, in as much as I'm very pro-women and pro-progress, one of the things I saw other than, let's say, growing up, my dad cooking, I would also see sometimes my mom serve him food. And it's okay. It wasn't because she had to. It's because I realized she wanted to.
Yeah.
And so there was this nice balance. So sometimes I find myself naturally doing that. And there was a friend who commented when they came home,
Yeah.
they were like, why are you serving? And she was quite upset. And I'm like,
you?
Yeah, she was very upset with me. She's like, why are you? See, he has legs. I'm like, I get where you're coming from. I feel like you think I have to do this.
Right.
But I literally don't
Want
mind
to.
doing it.
Choice.
And it was nice to see by example growing up that it was her choice. My mom was very much a woman of choice. Even now,
Yeah.
she's like the standout in her family,
Yeah.
who all the cousins go to because she's more sort of like open. But in terms of how to invite men to the space I just believe in, even if there's going to be another kind of conversation like this, let's hear their point of view.
Yeah.
Let's begin to understand where their frustrations are. I was telling someone the other day, I feel like men are very angry nowadays.
I don't want to hear their frustration.
No, I know, but no. I know their frustrations may not even be. They may even seem petty, but let's hear them
they're still
anyway.
frustrated.
Because at the end
Let's
of-
have the conversation,
Because then
I
I
think.
just feel like a lot of these initiatives for women are dampened by men not coming on board. Like I said,
Yeah.
you're there saying you know Adada, and she'll go home and the husband will be like, so anyway, as you are out there in your chabat,
Where's my
dinner?
food
You know?
and everything? But
So,
maybe, Purity, maybe you could even.
So I think the boy child, what about the boy child conversation is phrased from a place of lack and like sort of a poverty mentality of opportunities. That if we empower the girls, we've taken everything. There's not enough for everyone. So we can't have empowered girls and empowered boys coexist in the same space. And I feel like it's a very societal thing we have as a country, that I think that there's only enough for me and nothing for another person. So that we are always pitching each other to be competitive over wrong things. I do think, boys and men have had lots of systemic issues work for them, things work for them that always give them a footstep ahead of women. However, women in many spaces, of course, but I think because we are innately really wired to fight the system, so we're fighting the system and we are gaining some ground, but we are not gaining as much as we could. And is this? I think when you take a snapshot of the urban centers, it looks like, women have been empowered. But when you go to other places, they haven't. And I do think the conversation needs to shift. First, what Janet has said, that men have to put in the work. Women have been putting in the work of bringing these girls along. Men need to put in the work of talking to each other, because men don't talk to each other. They just say, you're well?
Yeah, well, yeah. Cool.
And then it's like,
they need to
And
move
then
that
back to
conversation
business.
from pints to how are you doing? What is your career trajectory? etc. have a story, but it's very family related. I didn't ask, so I wouldn't.
Maybe let's not pull people in.
Adding on to what she's saying about the boy child and you know, tying it to this conversation about gender equality. I think also we do have men who there's a lot of pressure for them to be men.
Right.
So, for instance, when they say, as a child, I want to be a nurse when I grow up, or I want to be
a beautician.
Exactly, something that's more skewed towards the female gender. Then they're told, you know, it's dismissed as, hey, no, that's for girls.
Yeah.
And already they start feeling diminished and not feeling like they're enough of a man because they desire this or they want to be that. And I think that conversation also has to happen because it is internalized even in women who make such comments. You know, you have your peers, you laugh at somebody when they say, like, I did these cornrows on my head myself, or, you know, I helped my sister with her outfits, or I really like doing my sister's makeup. Oh, you must be gay.
Exactly.
You know
Even when you start cooking quite early for a boy, it's seen as, oh, you're in the kitchen. But if you're a chef, it's like you're a chef. So it's almost like, so when do I have the right to be myself? When it's good.
From childhood. Let's never dismiss how much of an impact. That's why when Edith asked, you know, and I'm always trying to talk to Huru. I try very hard to just, I mean, he's 2.5. I try not to give too much pressure. I try to calm down. But I'm always trying to explain to him about just diversity and choice and that kind of thing. And he's a very curious child.
Does Huru have dolls? Would you get dolls for Huru, or is that like...
He loves cars.
He's into cars.
With cars. But I remember saying, I just want Huru to thrive.
Okay.
If he wakes up today, like he's always I've noticed he's very curious about makeup. I don't know whether that means it's maybe because he watches me.
Art? Oh, yeah. Oh,
he's always, and he knows, he'll tell me, you know, lipstick. And when he sees me in lipstick and he doesn't want me to leave the house, he'll say, remove your lipstick. He knows lipstick is a sign that you're going. I saw that this morning.
That's so cute.
But, you know, he loves cars. It wasn't anything that was forced on him.
Okay.
He just kind of grew up and he's obsessed with them. But I'm like, I was telling my family, just let Huru be. Let's just see what comes from him and what he gravitates towards. And
I just realized I have no cars for Nyla, and after this I'm gonna go get like some toy cars just to balance, because I can't be here like gender equality and I don't have a thing.
He has teddy bears, and there's a time I posted a picture of him. My sister had just given him a teddy, and I posted the picture.
But unstuffed animals, like...
It's okay. Do you know there's a woman who commented and said, why does he have a teddy bear?
My son is always being called a girl.
Because?
And he has the best hairstyle. No, I kid you not. Your son has the best hairstyle.
Please. Someone did, and he was holding his brown teddy, and I was holding his hand. I didn't even have to say anything. This woman was massacred.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay.
Now calm down.
Apparently, it ended up having a conversation on different WhatsApp chats about, and I didn't even know. It was later someone was like, do you know that post of yours has created conversations around,
which is, I guess, ideally what this is about. And I think now we have to wrap up because we've been on it for a while. But it's about having the conversations, asking the questions, sharing your stories, your journeys. We didn't even really get into some of the things that we've faced as women now, which makes me feel like we need part 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes.
But I just wanted to say thank you so much for sharing, for being open, for having the conversation. And if you're watching this right now, I urge you to please just first bring your friends onto this channel, to this video specifically, and just get them watching and have the conversations. And 2, I'm also going to leave Akili Dada in the description box just so that you go and see their work. I really wish we'd have had time for you to share what exactly the program is and how it really empowers and builds women, and you take your time to make sure that this girl who came from a struggling background is essentially in a position where she's going to university abroad and then coming back and working and being a successful individual, contributing individual in the society. But ladies, thank you. We've spoken for way too long. And thank you guys for watching. I will also leave everyone's handles so that you can go check them out. They're doing amazing work online. And remember to follow the hashtag Better for Kenya with a 4. And we can continue the conversation online. Thank you guys. Okay, bye.
Bye.